In 1519, Ferdinand Magellan embarked on a daring expedition from Seville, Spain. His goal was to find a new westward route to the Spice Islands. These islands were the source of valuable spices like cloves and nutmeg. Reaching the Spice Islands by sailing east around Africa was long and dangerous. Magellan believed a shorter route existed by sailing west. Magellan's fleet of 5 ships faced many perils from the start. The Atlantic crossing was long and arduous. Storms battered the ships, supplies dwindled, and scurvy began to plague the crew. Despite these hardships, Magellan pressed on, driven by his belief in a western passage. The fleet reached the coast of South America, searching for the rumored strait. This passage, it was said, could lead them through the continent to the other side. The explorers faced dense jungles, hostile natives, and treacherous currents. Their search continued through the bitter cold of a southern winter. The men grew weary and demoralized. Magellan, however, refused to give up hope. He ordered his men to set up a temporary camp at Port St. Julian. Here, they would wait out the worst of the winter and repair their ships. Little did they know that their greatest challenge was yet to come. The long, dark winter at Port St. Julian tested the limits of human endurance. Food supplies dwindled, the men grew weaker and sicker, morale plummeted, Magellan's leadership was questioned, some of his captains saw an opportunity to seize control. They plotted mutiny, hoping to return to the familiar dangers of the known world. Magellan, a shrewd and ruthless leader, caught wind of the mutiny. He acted swiftly and decisively. He quelled the uprising with brutal force, executing the ringleaders and leaving others stranded on the desolate coast. The message was clear: defy him, and face his wrath. This show of force cemented Magellan's authority but further demoralized his crew. With the mutiny crushed, Magellan could continue the expedition. The fleet moved south, exploring every inlet and river mouth. The landscape was harsh and unforgiving. Winds howled, rain lashed the decks. The crew, still shaken from the mutiny, wondered if they would ever escape this desolate land. Then at last, they found it. A narrow, twisting passage that seemed to promise a way through. The strait was treacherous, filled with hidden rocks and strong currents. But Magellan, with characteristic determination, navigated his ships through its perilous waters. He had found the passage to the west. The discovery of the strait, later named the Strait of Magellan, was a major achievement. It marked the first time European ships had sailed through this passage. It was a testament to Magellan's navigational skills and his unwavering belief in his mission. But the journey was far from over. As the fleet emerged, they sailed into a vast, calm ocean. Magellan named it the Pacific Ocean, from the Latin word for peaceful. This immense body of water stretched as far as the eye could see. It was far larger than any of them had imagined. The discovery of the Pacific Ocean was a pivotal moment in history. It opened up a whole new sea route between Europe and the East. It also dramatically expanded European knowledge of the world's geography. The vastness of the Pacific Ocean brought new challenges. The long voyage across its uncharted waters was grueling. The crew faced starvation, thirst, and disease. They had severely underestimated the size of the Pacific. Their supplies, already low, dwindled rapidly. The men resorted to eating rats and chewing on leather to stave off starvation. Despite the hardships, Magellan pressed onward. He was determined to reach the Spice Islands and complete his mission. His resolve inspired his crew, even as their bodies weakened. They continued west, following the sun and the stars. Section 4, Through the Strait to a New Sea. After months of perilous sailing across the Pacific, the expedition finally reached land. They landed in the islands that would later be known as the Philippines. Magellan, believing he had reached the Indies, claimed the islands for Spain. He encountered the indigenous people and attempted to convert them to Christianity. Magellan's arrival in the Philippines was met with mixed reactions. Some tribes welcomed the Europeans and their goods, others, however, saw them as a threat. Magellan became entangled in local tribal conflicts. He was killed in a battle on the island of Mactan in 1521. His death was a blow to the expedition, but they were determined to carry on. With Magellan gone, Juan Sebastian Elcano, a Basque navigator, took command of the expedition. He led the remaining ships westward across the Indian Ocean, facing storms and dwindling supplies. Finally, they reached the Spice Islands, their original destination. They loaded their holds with precious spices, a bittersweet victory. Elcano and his crew, now severely depleted, made the arduous journey back to Spain. They sailed around the Cape of Good Hope, finally reaching Seville in 1522. They had completed the first circumnavigation of the globe, a feat that would forever change our understanding of the world. Section 5, Legacy of the Pacific. Magellan's epic voyage, though he didn't survive to complete it, was a landmark achievement in human history. His expedition proved that the Earth was round, and that a westward route to the Spice Islands existed. It opened up new trade routes and expanded European knowledge of the world. The voyage also had a profound impact on navigation and cartography. It provided valuable information about the oceans, winds, and currents. This knowledge helped to improve navigational techniques and led to more accurate maps of the world. Magellan's journey was not without its controversies. His encounters with indigenous peoples were often marked by violence and exploitation. The expedition's legacy is a reminder of the complex and often brutal history of European exploration and colonialism. Despite its complexities, Magellan's Pacific crossing remains one of the most daring and significant voyages ever undertaken. It expanded our understanding of the planet we live on and left an indelible mark on history.